My name is David, and when you're in your 40s, you start to think that life has finally taken shape. You stop running. You just live. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, the son of a teacher and a mechanic. Money was always tight, but my parents gave me the most important thing. They taught me what responsibility means. I wasn't the popular kid in school, but I was the guy you could count on. If you needed help moving, fixing your computer, or just someone to sit in silence with when things were rough, that was me. The world around me always moved fast, but I loved slow, planning, building. I met Sophie when I was 22. She was working as a waitress at this little diner on the edge of town, the kind with cracked vinyl seats and the best apple pie you've ever had. I was there with my buddy Mark, my best friend since freshman year of high school. The moment she walked over to our table, I swear the whole diner faded out. Sophie was like sunlight after a long winter. She laughed loud, she danced in the kitchen when she made breakfast, and she looked at me like I was the only person in the room. Mark noticed it too. He elbowed me and whispered, "Dude, if you don't ask her out, I will." Classic Mark. Always the joker. Always the one who pushed me to take risks. We dated for 2 years, and then I proposed. It wasn't anything fancy, just us on the porch of our first crappy apartment, the one that smelled like old carpet and had a faucet that never stopped dripping. I got down on one knee, my hands shaking, and she said yes before I even finished the question. We got married when I was 24. People said, "You're young, why rush?" But I felt like when you find your person, why wait? The next 20 years they were everything. We built a life. Not a perfect life, but a real one. We had 2 kids, Ethan and Lily. I watched Sophie become a mother, and I fell in love with her all over again. The way she read bedtime stories, changing her voice for every character. The way she stayed up all night when one of them had a fever. She was fierce, protective, the heart of our home. I worked my ass off. Construction during the day, delivery gigs at night in those early years. Then I slowly started my own renovation business. It was small at first, just me and a beat-up truck. But I was good at what I did. Reliable. I never missed a deadline. Never cut corners. Sophie supported me through all of it. When I came home covered in drywall dust, exhausted, she'd have dinner waiting. She believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And Mark was always there. He was my brother. We'd known each other since we were 15. He was the best man at my wedding, the godfather to my kids. When my truck broke down in the middle of a job, Mark showed up with his trailer within an hour. When I needed a shoulder to vent about work stress, he was the one buying me a beer. He had his own struggles, 2 divorces, trouble keeping a steady job, always chasing some get-rich-quick scheme. But I never judged him. He was family. We had this rhythm, the 3 of us. Sophie, me, and Mark. Weekends at our place, barbecues in the backyard, Ethan and Lily calling him Uncle Mark. I thought I had it all. A good marriage, a best friend, kids who were healthy and happy. I thought I was the luckiest man alive. Looking back now, I see the cracks. But when you're inside something for 20 years, you don't notice the walls slowly shifting. Sophie changed about 2 years ago. It was subtle at first. She started going to the gym more often. Got new clothes. Nothing crazy. She said she just wanted to feel better about herself. I told her she looked beautiful. I meant it. Then she started staying late at work. She worked at a real estate agency. Administrative stuff. Nothing high pressure. But suddenly there were evening meetings, client dinners. She'd come home at 10 p.m., smelling like wine, saying how exhausting it was. I trusted her. Of course I trusted her. This was Sophie, the woman who held my hand when my dad died. The woman who looked at me with those eyes that said, I see you, I love you, I'm not going anywhere. Mark started acting different, too. He was around less. When I'd invite him over for Sunday dinner, he'd make excuses. Busy with work. Got a thing. When we did hang out, he seemed distant, on edge. I asked him if something was wrong. He said he was just stressed about money. I didn't connect the dots. Why would I? These were the two people I trusted most in the world. There was one night. I remember it clearly. I came home early from a job site because I forgot my tools. Sophie's car was in the driveway. Mark's truck was parked down the street, which I thought was weird. I walked in, and the house was quiet. Too quiet. I called out her name. No answer. I called out his name. Nothing. I found them in the kitchen. Sophie was at the counter, chopping vegetables. Mark was sitting at the table with a beer. They were just talking. Normal. Sophie said Mark stopped by to borrow a tool. Mark laughed and said, You know me, always forgetting to buy my own stuff. I believed them. God help me. I believed them. It was a Tuesday. Ordinary. Unremarkable. I had finished a renovation project, a full kitchen remodel, and the client was thrilled. Paid me a bonus, cash. I decided to surprise Sophie. I was going to take her to that Italian restaurant she loved, the one with the candles and the wine list she always studied, but never ordered from. I got home around 7 p.m. The house was dark except for the bedroom light upstairs. I thought maybe she fell asleep early. She'd been complaining about migraines lately. I parked in the driveway, walked up to the front door, unlocked it. I heard something. A laugh. Sophie's laugh. But it was low, intimate, the kind of laugh I thought was only for me. Then I heard a man's voice. Not just any voice. Mark's voice. My chest got tight. My hands started shaking. I told myself, don't jump to conclusions. They're just talking. Maybe she needed help with something. Maybe... I walked up the stairs. Each step felt heavier than the last. The hallway was dark. Our bedroom door was half open. I pushed it open. And there they were. Sophie, my wife of 20 years, the mother of my children, in our bed, with Mark, my best friend since I was 15. The look on their faces when they saw me. I'll never forget it. Sophie's eyes went wide. She pulled the sheet up, but it was too late. Mark froze. He opened his mouth like he was going to say something, but nothing came out. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, staring at them. It was like my brain couldn't process what my eyes were seeing. The two people I loved most. The two people I would have died for. Betraying me in the most intimate way possible. In my house. In my bed. Sophie said my name. David, please let me explain. Explain what? That you've been lying to my face for months? That every late meeting was this? That every time Mark was busy, he was busy with you? I didn't say any of that. I just turned around, walked down the stairs, walked out the front door, and sat in my truck. I sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours, staring at the bedroom window. The light stayed on for a while. Then it went dark. I didn't go back inside that night. I drove to a motel on the highway, the kind with stained carpets and a buzzing neon sign. I sat on the edge of the bed and didn't move until the sun came up. The next few days are a blur. Sophie called me 37 times. Mark sent me texts. I'm sorry. It just happened. It didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything. 20 years of friendship, 20 years of marriage, and it didn't mean anything. I finally went home. Sophie was sitting on the couch, her face swollen from crying. She tried to explain. She said it started a year ago. Little moments. A text here, a coffee there. She said she never meant for it to happen. She said she still loved me. I asked her one question. Was it worth it? She couldn't look at me. I told her to pack a bag. I told her she could stay at her sister's. I told her the kids would stay with me until we figured things out. Ethan and Lily. That's the part that destroys me. Having to tell them that their parents are splitting up. Having to explain why Uncle Mark isn't coming around anymore. Watching them try to understand something that doesn't make sense. I filed for divorce last week. 20 years of marriage, dissolved in a stack of paperwork. And Mark, I haven't spoken to him since that night. He sent one last text. It said, I lost my best friend, and I deserve it. Yeah, you do. So here I am, 44 years old, starting over. I still have my business. I still have my kids. I still have the house, though I'm not sure I want to keep it. Every room has a memory I don't know what to do with. People ask me if I'm angry sometimes. But mostly, I'm just tired. 20 years. 2 decades of my life, given to someone who threw it away for a thrill with my best friend. I'm not making this video for pity. I'm making it because I know there are other people out there who trusted someone completely, who built a life on a foundation they thought was solid, only to watch it crumble. If that's you, here's what I've learned. The betrayal says everything about them and nothing about you. You can do everything right and still lose. That's not failure. That's life. I don't know what comes next for me. But I know I'm still here. I'm still standing. And someday I'll be okay. Not because I deserve it, but because I refuse to let their choices define the rest of my life. Thanks for listening.